Peace to the gods, peace to the earths, peace to the righteous people throughout the earth. My name is Magnetic Allah, just Magnetic Allah. I had knowledge. I was actually born into knowledge because my peoples is from the nation, and
yeah, peoples are from
the Nation of Islam.
Okay. Okay, so your parents were of the Nation of Islam. They were like with Elijah.
Indeed, with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So they met down in Watts because it was a mosque down in Watts. The people would come together and build. They met down there. They built a mosque. They was doing civilization, teaching civilization within Watts. But my mom, she's from Seattle. She didn't like Watts, so she came back up here. And my dad followed her up here and whatnot. So just to skip forward, I got knowledge of God. I got after I had kind of went back into the nation when I was about 18 years old to get
so
some
your
employment.
family had left the nation, or
Yeah, because the nation fell apart, at a certain point, so there really wasn't nothing to hold on to. Just to, give you a little brief history, the place y'all went to, Ezel's,
yeah,
that used to be the Muslim bakery. Back in the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Down the street from there, they had a bookstore called The Original Man, like on Cherry, right on the corner. Up the street on Jackson, that's where the mosque was. It's like where the church is at, That's where the mosque was, like, I'm gonna say like in 70, late 60s. And if you go out to Rainier, across from a place called Via Wa, it'll tell you, the mosque that Malcolm founded out on Rainier. No, Martin Luther King, pardon me. Yeah, so there was a large...
a mosque that...
Yeah, it was a... Well,
mosque that who founded it? You said...
Malcolm founded it in 1957.
Who founded? Well, pardon me. Say that again. Who
So Malcolm X came here in like 1957. And, Malcolm went to different places throughout the nation setting up mosques. The place that he came to here is on Martin Luther King, and it was a temple 67.
Oh, he came to a place called Martin Luther King.
No, it's a church now.
That's a church. That's where the church was at.
Right, it's
okay,
a church
that's
now.
what I was going to be clear.
Yeah, it was a mosque. He founded it as a mosque,
Okay.
And so from that point, the community grew and grew and grew, and they had a lot of Muslim MGT, FY, Nation Islam people here in the town, and they still have a lot of the remnants of that, But it was like that at a certain point, it lost its juice because of certain things that took place. So, my father, he moved more into the Panther joint, and our family was deeply involved in that. The free breakfast program, with the teaching babies to read, spraying for roaches and Yester Terrace. Just doing Panther stuff, man. It was beautiful.
Right.
But as you know, what happened to that stuff, different agents came in and stuff, and, snitch searched out and whatnot, and, dwindled away. So come 91, 92, I was in the nation for a while, and
so from what point, from when you were a little kid, you were still dealing with, like, I guess the remnants of the nation.
Exactly.
And
Panther stuff, but it wasn't nothing really. I didn't really see it around. You would see a random Muslim, or you might see somebody, one of the old Panthers, but you didn't really see nothing that was really, magnetic like that. Until Farrakhan came to town. He came to town in 1990, the fall of 1990. He came to like the Seattle Center, and he dropped some major science on Seattle that we didn't even know. We was from here, and the way he described Seattle and the stuff he said Seattle was an experimental city, that they were doing an experiment on controlling like all the races here. And you see all the races here: the black, the white, the Asian, the Samoan, everything, East Indian. An experimental thing, bringing all the races together, how to control people. And I was like, that's,
Is there recordings of this, or something that a reference?
I'm sure if you got in touch with the NOI.
Yeah. And I wanted to know if you knew of anything that's that we could pull up and do the knowledge too.
Well, if you talk to people that went to that event,
you were there.
I thought it was it had to be 91 because I came back in 91, and I was there. It was at Heck Ed. It was at Heck Ed.
It was at the. This one was at Seattle Center. the auditorium down there.
So he came another time.
Yeah, he must have came again then.
Okay.
Yeah, because this one was
at UW. Heck yeah.
No, this was at Seattle Center in the block. The line was around the block, and a lot of the guys was there. So I'm sitting watching Minister Farrakhan, and Minister Farrakhan was talking about Musa. And I said, "Who's Musa?" So this young God who was born's son or grandson or whatnot, you know, born, the God, born-in-law, he turned around, he said, Musa was a half original man who was born, blah, 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 and ran off the wisdom degree to me. He was like 10.
And he was 10, but you were, how old were you?
I was like, knowledge God. He was 10 and ran it off to me and turned back around. And for every degree Farrakhan would say, I didn't understand, the young God would turn around and state the degree. I was like, okay. But I was like, but he's not wearing a bow tie or a suit. He's in the audience with me. You see what I'm saying? So, but you know, I knew at that point I needed some refinement. Because I was getting a little wild, you know. I was in the rap
This is
game
1991.
This is about 1990, 91. You know, I'm about to graduate. I'm in the rap game. I'm doing some things. I got a little hit record, you know. I'm getting wild, man. Wild as I want to be. And I'm like, man, if I'm seeing my other friends drop, get killed, get shot, you know, get locked up and whatnot. I said, man, I need some refinement. So I chose to go into the nation. Because I seen that's where my parents got refinement from. So I went in there, you know, did my time.
You said you did your time. You did your time.
Yeah.
So what did that mean? You did your time.
Well, we always gonna be in the nation, family. That's what we say. But sometimes you just ain't in the mosque. You know? Okay. So the stuff that you get, you know, the refinement that you get, you know, you take it with you. But yeah, it's definitely a trial. It's definitely a trial, man, because you got to pay money. They taxing you. You think Uncle Sam tax you? The nation taxes you, man. And I ain't saying that in a bad way, but I didn't have it, so that's why I had to leave.
You had to leave because you didn't want to pay. You didn't want to pay your taxes.
I couldn't afford it, God.
You couldn't afford it.
I couldn't afford it.
Wow.
I'm not in that class, man. I'm working class, man. That was too much. Hustling class.
Hustling class. right.
So
you laughing?
You know, but I still wanted to get. I had my 120. But I didn't have understanding of it. Cause
so you got 120 through the Nation of Islam, or you got it?
I got it from Dr. Khalid.
Dr. Khalid, who's
Dr.
that?
Khalid Muhammad.
Oh, Khalid Muhammad. So he gave you 120 lessons, or he gave you supreme wisdom?
He gave me supreme wisdom.
He gave you supreme wisdom.
Right.
Okay.
You know, and I was very appreciative. We had a long sit down meeting, and we talked about what was going on in Seattle. We actually
he personally gave it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Tacoma.
Okay. In Tacoma.
Land.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had made a copy of it because they wouldn't give it to us. So he was like, well, boom. I was like.
So he was generous enough to actually give you a copy. He was and I guess humble enough to because if they were keeping it from you or they wanted to do certain things,
they just didn't. They would give you, okay, so to get your X, you go through student enrollment and you go through actual facts. You learn that you recite that and then you write a letter.
Okay, so now there's something that I don't know about because I don't have experience of going through the Nation of Islam. So so you were trying to get your X,
right? And
you had to recite.
You have to recite the student enrollment, and then you have to recite the actual facts off cap, and then you have to write a letter. It's called a Savior's letter. So.
Okay.
We went through all that, but I was like, well, it seems like there's something missing. Because I'm hearing people speaking on all this other stuff, the original man and blah, 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 and 93, and, the gods taking back the planet Earth. I'm like, well, where does that come from? Where does all that stuff come from? And who wrote Holy Quran and Bible and how long ago? And, why did we take Jerusalem from the devil? I'm like, well, where's that at? So I read Black Man, Our Savior Has Arrived, The Theology of Time, The Fall of America.
You couldn't find none of that.
None of that, right? How to Eat to Live. I couldn't find none of that, man. So I started running into the guards, man, and we would be up at Seattle Central. And the guards would be everybody. It would be the Kemetic people, the Pan-Africanists, of course us, the nation, then the other Muslims, and then like the
other Muslims?
The Al-Islam Muslims.
Al-Islam, okay.
Al-Islam brothers. And then it was the Moorish brothers. Remember, I can't think of them brothers' name, but they was like Moorish and they wear feathers and they had a Quran, but they opened up the Quran and have some weed in it. Real talk. I'm just telling it like it is, bro. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Yeah. What?
Yo, you taking me on a journey right now with this one right here, man.
I'm taking you to how it all started, family. So, but the gods would be tearing everybody's heads off. Born was up there, Truth was up there, Divine was up there, Sincere was up there, and they would be tearing everybody's heads off because, you know, it was more of a, where they understood the different aspects. Even the Christians was up there too, but the gods understood all the different realms of thought, but used mathematics to kind of pull it all together, you know, as one. So we had a rally one time up there. I ain't even lying. Nobody was in class. You remember that, God? When it was Born and you and Sincere. Even the teachers came out of class. They was all up on the balcony. Everybody was listening. Everybody was listening. And the God was going in. Born. I'm talking about the reality of the original man. They was like.
You said he was like young at this time. He was
Born ain't never been young.
Yeah,
okay. No, this is God from Sound View.
Indeed.
From Sound View that you were telling me about. Right. Part
and it was, man. It was probably, and then from then on. Yeah. So that was like what we call the University of Morocco, because a lot of people got sparked there. A lot of wisdoms got sparked. A lot of herbs, you know, seeing got knowledge and stuff, start wrapping their heads and stuff and coming around from that ignition. Because that was the first real time they really seen the gods really manifest, you know, in His glory. You know, they had heard stuff from Rakim, the poor righteous teachers, but they never really touched it and felt it and ran into it, you know, until that day.
God, we was doing that every day. Yeah, it was going down every day like that.
If Mecca did this.